it is, in a rather shiny box, the Akai Professional MPX16. Now, there is an MPX8, but obviously it just comes with 8 pads, and I think it comes with less features, but I wanted to get this, to give this a go, just to play around with samples really, loading them up and seeing what you can create on it. So this apparently has a pretty bad reputation for trouble loading samples, the WAV files cutting off the start or the end of the sample, and I can't remember what the other faults with it were, but if you look on Amazon, the reviews are the older ones, the bad ones, so whether or not this has gone through some sort of firmware update and it's improved. But if you look on YouTube, the videos on these things, there's a few that are sort of complaining about the performance of them, but I'm not a musician, I know nothing about music, so I just wanted to get this to play around with really. So what we'll do, we'll open it up, have a look at it, and then we'll see what we can do with it. Right, so let's get it open. Right, so straight away we've got the unit, and I guess this is the power supply. Most of these now just powered off USB, so yeah, there's this little power supply. The unit is pretty lightweight. I always think that, no, you always want these things to be fairly heavy, but it's not bad. It's not as bad. I think I had was it an MPK keyboard, and that was, I don't know, that was just light as anything, felt really plasticky. But yeah, there's a little bit of weight to this. It's got rubber feet on the base, so that's not too bad to stop it moving around. There we go. So that's quite scratched. Don't know if you can see that. It's got a protective film, so that's what that is. We won't take that off just yet. We've got the SD card. Let's go in the back, have a look at the bits it's got. Got the MIDI connections. Nothing's labelled actually. Oops. That's weird. There's no, so input output, I've got no idea. It's just holes. The MIDI connections, USB, the power, but so you're sort of relying on the instruction book for that. See what the software is we get with this. Let's plug it in and see what we can make, what the default kind of settings and that. Here we go. So I thought I'd do the rest of this video, which is based on this Akai MPX16. Now I've got no musical skills whatsoever, so what I produce is kind of sub-professional. So anyway, yeah, kind of bit disappointed. The MPX16, the MPX8, which has got obviously 8 pads and sort of a few less features, comes with a little bit of integration software, so you can connect up to your PC, but this doesn't. They didn't do the same software for the 16. So although they include this card, when you go to this site, there's no software that you're entitled to, and a little bit of research into it, looks like they never produced the same software for the 16 that they did for the 8. Instructions that come with it are pretty hard to follow for a newbie beginner, so you have to do a little bit of playing around, especially when you're kind of sampling stuff with the SD card, which I'll show you in a bit. So straight off, we've just got the power in the back. The MIDI connections aren't connected, all the ins and outs. We've just got the headphone connection, and it's connected to my Anchor Bluetooth speaker, which is just going to use the audio lead. This is the other end. I've got my adapter plugged in here, which you don't need. Also, the MPX8 comes with some cables with it, but this doesn't come with anything. Don't know. Anyway, we switch it on. It comes up with this. Now there is a piece of software that you can get for this Akai, and it's basically for converting the WAV files to the correct format. I think they have to be 8 characters long, so if you're just loading WAV files into it, you can't always play them. They need to be converted. So you just drag all these files into this converter and it will do it for you. So let's have a look. So it's on. Play around with the volume a bit. Let's get my anchor. So there's no built-in speakers to this, which fooled me when I unboxed it. I've got an old DJX DB or 2B, sorry, and that's got inbuilt speakers, but this doesn't have any. Let's just move that light away. It's getting a bit irritating. It's better. So right, so you can edit the pads. You use this to navigate around. This is the kits. You can see the kits. There's about 10 or 11 altogether. So you can load in the different kits. Go to 10. Also, when you hit these pads, you hit them softly. They're quieter. Harder hit, louder. That's quite a nice feature, isn't it? Let's try and change the kits a bit more. Bass. I'm not sure if there's a way of selecting, say you like that, selecting that and then changing the kit, and it saves this pad, because all these different kits, you only want bits from each of the kits, I think, or I would if I was making anything. My amazing musical skills. You can also record. Let's do a record sample. With your audio in, you can obviously play stuff from your PC, desktop, or app. Sorry, tablet, and then kind of like play around. But it has got a mic here, so you can do recording samples. Let's do one. Oh, no SD card. That's no good. Let's get an SD card. Right, SD card in a converter. One word of, not warning, but with these, if you start, you can get loads of samples, obviously off the internet. One site I came across, which I thought was pretty good, if I can get this up. Yeah, one site, it includes loads of loops and stuff, but you've got to be a bit careful when you use them. If you're using these as like just mucking around, you know, not using it for commercial, that's fine. But if you start using this stuff, the loops and that, for kind of YouTube, some of it might be flagged up as copyright. I know the cheap apps, not cheap apps, but like the free apps you can get for your phones and tablets, a lot of people have been caught out by creating some music or sounds, beats and that, use them in YouTube, and then it strikes them for copyright straight away, because it's come from the company who own the loops. So yeah, be a bit careful with that. Anyway, this is the site that I was mucking around with. It's called Sample Focus. You can pay for the service, but you can get a few free beats along the way. And you've got I don't know, there's like, you can download 3 or 4 a week or something, but you can also upload and do different stuff. Not really prepared, am I? So obviously what you can do, you can download these, file convert them, and then pop them into the MPX16, which I did. But the trouble, my limited skills and knowledge, it'd be nice to get these on loop, but I can't see a way of looping them on this, which is pretty irritating. Let's go and have a look at loading one from SD card. I need kind of more speakers and stuff, really. Let's plug that in. It makes a racket when you plug it in. I know what we were going to do. We were going to do a test record, weren't we? Test sample. Test sample. Press enter to ARM. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So that's that. You see, this is it. So you've got that, but you can also load your samples from your SD card. Now there is a way of browsing this as an SD storage card device. You don't have to keep on moving your card to your PC back and forth. You can just use your USB cable, which is this one here. This plugs into the back, and then this will come up as just a storage device. What you're looking for then is storing the files that you've converted. Let's show you if I've still got them. Let's plug that in. Right. Don't do fix. So here we go. This is some stuff I was mucking around with last night. In kits is my converted sounds. So yeah, you just browse to this and look for a folder called kits, and then pop the files in there. So once they're in the SD card anyway, or the device, we can load them up. So pad number 1, that one. So in there, if we want to get rid of that and load something up that we've put in ourselves, we go select plus, and there we go, location, internal, turn this to card, wait for it. How do we go like that? That's it. So when we've changed it to card, we go down with select, and then we use the button to select the sound sampled, and then there we go. Let's turn that down. You can turn that volume down as well. Let's turn that down. So volume 90. I can't see that changing much at all, really. Oh, maybe it has. So there you go. That's one loaded in. And that's probably about it. So yeah, I think you can do some good stuff with this. I've played with it for a bit, but I'm probably going to see if I can get my hands on the MPX8. I don't really need all these pads, and I just want to play around with the fewer pads and also the software that comes with it. But yeah, I'll leave a link for this. I'll definitely give it a go. I think that the firmware that they released, this has got the latest firmware on it, but the I think previous releases of firmware, or when this first came out, it was a bit buggy and there were problems with it, but now they seem to be resolved. I haven't experienced any issues with this. Need to add this on, actually. So I was saying that you can't loop anything on this. Now I was reading on the internet and the instruction book, actually, and it says that you can loop. So we'll do it with this, the kick. So you should be able to hold down the pad and then it will just loop, but it doesn't do that. You have to go down to pad edit You need to get this right. See what I mean? It's too fiddly without using your tablet or PC. It's just fiddly as anything. That's it. Loop, and then you press this down to select that. Let's turn the volume up on my Anchor. So, and then that holds it on loop. Anyone who needs a drummer, just get in contact, yeah, and I'll turn up and ruin a party.